Hello everyone and welcome to an episode of Reviews and Rants. Now, today we are going to discuss Batmobile Arkham Obvious. From the title I've given it, you can already tell how I feel, but we will give the good with the bad, and I made sure that I brought a list, so let's get going. First of all, this game graphically. This version right here is on the PlayStation 4, and I've seen it on the Xbox One as well. This game is beautiful. There's no denying that. It looks good. Textures are good. You know, they didn't muddy it with a terrible color palette. They really kept it. They really kept it pretty. And resolution looks fantastic. Batman looks good. The new suit is awesome. As you can see right there, the Riddler in that giant machine, he even looks good. He had a new outfit, so I mean, looking at this game, it's nice. Let's get a nice shot of Batman. Look at that. That's quite an upgrade from the previous titles, in all honesty. All right, well, let's just move it on here. Mechanics, the free flow combat system. Better than it's ever been. Very fluid, dual team takedowns using other characters is pretty fantastic. It stays true to what it's supposed to be.
So as the bat
Let's go ahead and
Arkham Knight.
bust this out real quick. As you can see, it's still the same. Fluid, fun to do. With some increased abilities. So it really did. It stayed exactly where it should have been. The main issue with it being there's not that much of it unless you try to get little fights. Wasn't a whole lot to it. Okay, as far as other mechanics go, this is where we start to run into a problem though. Oh, on another positive note, the mega grapple boost. Oh, I can go off. 1 second. Let me get it to lock here.
For as long as I can remember, that's the important thing.
Look, the mobility is phenomenal. So that I thought was really good. A lot of the fight mechanics were really good. There were a few that just weren't too great. One of my favorite things, actually, is they had it so you can run and dive off of the buildings to actually get yourself automatic, an automatic dive bomb to glide faster. See, like so. Which is pretty nice. Now, let's come up here, and we're going to start talking about the bad. This guy, right here, this is a skin, but this car rules this game. You can see with the tank. There's quite a few shots like that. But this thing is a full-blown tank, and it really destroys what Batman is. Although this mechanic works well in this game, and they did some puzzles with it and whatnot, they used it way more than they should have. Instead of it being a feature in the game, it became the game, with everything based around the Batmobile rather than everything based around Batman, which is one of the biggest issues in this game overall. So I'm going to jump right into the story here. Now, as far as the story goes, let's be clear. There were elements of this story that were phenomenal, but they tried to open so many new storylines along with everything that was already open from the previous game that it became cluttered, confusing, and just all too insane. The core storyline of even the Joker being present in your mind due to injection of his blood. And now you see him through the entire game, just reminded me all too much of the dementia from Dead Space 2.
I thought Arkham City was fun, but
And
this
it just
is
showed
another
that they
level.
were afraid to make a Batman game without the Joker being present. And I really feel that this game suffered because of it. On that note, there were some phenomenal surprises, like Barbara Gordon's entire storyline. That one, you know, that's really my key point. But then we have the Arkham Knight. The Arkham Knight is the mysterious villain, is occupying Gotham and is a giant military force. And you have to sit there and think that this is going to be the key moment in this game, is when I discover who the Arkham Knight is. That's what this game is working up until. But sadly, this is where Rocksteady went wrong with this game as well. They give you so many clues and just cram so much information about the Arkham Knight down your throat. You know who it is before the reveal even happens, you know. When I finally saw it happen, I was like, oh, I was right. You know, it wasn't, oh my god, this is so good. It was, oh, that's exactly who I thought it was. And it did, it killed the fun. Like, I understand having hints, but it's nice to kind of have to speculate. And, you know, when there's 5 or 6 different options, that's when it really shines. And it wasn't in here. It really, like, being in a Batman game, just from their previous endeavors, you know there's someone else behind the face, which really wasn't the case this time around, so I commend them for that, but the overall Arkham Knight presentation was just poorly done. So let's move on. Extra pros, there were parts of the story that were super strong. Poison Ivy, her parts were phenomenal. Barbara Gordon, she was phenomenal. Fear gas going through the cloudburst, it was great. So like I said, there are some strong points, but overall, the big cash out is where it let me down. So that was my problem there. Extra cons, like I said, this game isn't a Batman game for the most part. Like right now, you see me just kind of running around and screwing around through the city, but it was built around the Batmobile, and that's what causes so many problems. Like, another issue that I really took was, normally, through the story, the Riddler trophies were set in a way where you were headed, you can look for Riddler trophies. In this, the game is so heavily based on using the massive glides or the car that you don't really find Riddler things throughout the storyline. I think when I finished the game, I only had 23. Yeah, somewhere right around there. So now, as far as the game length goes, the game felt good, length-wise, story-wise. I feel like they covered, well, I mean, they covered too many things in the amount of time it was, but they covered quite a bit of it. I am upset with the side missions. They did not have much depth to them, and a lot of them were just very, very stale and crappy to do. They were nothing like cities. Cities were actually side stories. They're just like, here, blow up a couple mines and a couple of these stupid tanks, and we'll say that, oh, we know that the military now has 8% less to attack us with. Like, it was pretty upsetting. So as far as side missions go, it failed us. And as far as story missions go, I mean, it also failed us because most of it was, you know, battle tanks. So this is kind of tying in with my content point too. I did play through the Harley Quinn bonus DLC. I beat it in 6 minutes, so that tells you how great that was. And then the Red Hood one I have not done yet, which I will do shortly. And I'm still debating whether I want to get the season pass to actually see if they can improve with the addition of Batgirl, but it's a $40 gamble. Now this is what everyone's looking for. This point we call the work versus fun.
Can't believe everyone's running scared.
This
Gotham really
game
went soft without Joker.
is exactly how that sounds. It's way, way more work than it is fun. All you do is grind through killing drones, or look for the Riddler trophies after you have all the items, which is at the very end. And some of these gadgets you get, like I know Mr. Freeze's grenade isn't even meant to be gotten because you don't actually need it. I got the freeze blast after I already had 80 some or 100 some of the Riddler items done. It was an accidental that I found it. And, I mean, you may need it for some Riddler things, but I had no idea it existed in the game until I realized that I was missing something for my upgrade screen. And with the upgrade screen, it was so compact, and they put a whole new leveling system with the points, and it just, again, it complicated everything and made a lot more work. So it didn't go in the direction it should have. This game was overthought and jam-packed with things. So this brings me to my conclusion where I'm going to score all my reviews. And I have to say, as a Batman game, this game gets like a 3 out of 10.
Yeah, right.
And as a game, just a game overall that was enjoyable, I'll give it a 4 or 5. I mean, it was repetitive. It was non-stop tanks. It's when you buy a game where you want to do Predator and combat, and you get vehicle-based fights for the entirety of it, and every puzzle being based on a Batmobile, and most of even your Riddler trophies based on racing for a Batmobile. It's a big letdown. So sorry, Rocksteady, but you didn't go out with a bang. You went out with a flop. Thank you, everybody. I'll be back soon with some more hate.